Hello and welcome. My name is Ajaxpost and this is the December 2019 channel update. And I'm going to try and keep this one quite short because we've got a lot going on this month. And I'd much rather be doing that, getting on with the going on, than talking about the going on, if you see what I mean. Anyway, first off, a quick look back at November, and first of that is to thank you all very much for staying with the channel, and of course welcome to all the new subscribers who've joined recently. I think November has been one of my most successful months ever in terms of subscriber numbers and views. Thank you very much for that, which is kind of strange because November started off rather badly immediately after I uploaded the November 2019 channel update. The power supply in my PC died. So I was without a PC for about a week until I got that diagnosed and replaced basically. And then we got back on track. And then, beauty of beauties, the lovely people at Urban Games offered me early access key to their new game Transport Fever 2 so that I could have a look at it, create some content and hopefully give you some insight into the game that's going to be released in December. In fact, this month, 11th I think is the release date of that, but more about Transport Fever 2 as we go forward. Okay, so in November we saw the conclusion of the first scenario in Strategic Mind the Pacific, the Japanese campaign. Now, although that series got a respectable number of views, as far as my channel's concerned at least, because we've got so much going on in December and going forward, I'm going to call a halt to it there for the moment at least. As you know, I kind of struggled with the game a little bit, so I'm not sure how good a player I can be for you here. But if you'd like to see that come back, if you'd like me to see me continue with Strategic Mind the Pacific, please do let me know in the comments below, or of course you can connect with me on Twitter or Instagram. The links are in the description below if you fancy doing that. Be lovely to see you there too. The other games are going to carry on running as per normal, and that's going to be the likes of Academia, School Simulator. I think I'm getting to grips with it now, and we're about to release students into my lovely building. That should be interesting to say the least. Another brick in the mall. Again, getting it together now. I think I'm getting my head around how the thing works. We're actually making money, and I've got a site that now actually looks like an organised, a designed shopping centre, a mall. So looking forward to carrying that forward and seeing what sort of antics my customers and staff get up to in there. And of course, a long-time favourite of mine, Computer Tycoon, will carry on with that. It's still going through development, obviously, as indeed are the other two games for that matter. But that one's going to carry on. I have no intention of dropping that one for the moment. Quite enjoying that, and I will be successful. Honest. Okay. A game that just turned up almost out of the blue, although I had been aware of it for a while, but it just suddenly turned up from and I've forgotten the name of the people who supplied it to me. I'm so sorry, chaps. I was offered a key to a new game, Transport Inc., which is not so much like Transport Tycoon or Transport Fever or Railroad Corporation or whatever. It's not so much a railroad transport builder creative game. It's a logistics oriented game. And it looks kind of fascinating. It's still very clearly in very early access. In fact, I think it's even in alpha. I don't think it's on early access yet at all. I had some fun with that. I struggled with some of the detail. It still needs a fair bit of work. But I think I will actually add at least one more video of that game into the, as it currently stands, into the channel. And as it develops, as we get new updates from the developers, I will include that in the schedule as and when, if not as yet, a full-blown series. And talking of full-blown series, Transport Fever Tycoon. Why did I call it that? Transport Fever 2. Is finally got a release date, December the 11th. As I said, Urban Games were very generous in offering me a free early access key to the game, and I hope you've been enjoying those get-to-know videos that I put out so far. Just me trying the game out as gameplay, but with more of a focus on actually understanding how it works, the mechanics of it, how it changes in particular from the current Transport Fever game. Really enjoying it. I still have some slight concerns about it. There are a few things that we'd got used to in Transport Fever that are not in this game. Curve Station's underground mode, for example, which I'd really like to see in the game properly. Curve Station, certainly, and an underground mode would be beautiful to see. It really would help the game so much. But there's been lots of other little changes, as you've seen, in terms of the vehicle maintenance mechanics, the running costs, the pricing difficulty, and so on. It's going to make it, as well as the freight, of course, that's a big change from Transport Fever, which make it quite an interesting update to the game, and quite a new challenge. Now, that brings me on to another key point here, and that is when I introduced the Get to Know series just the other week, I did say I wasn't going to be doing a proper Let's Play, a full long series of it, because my current PC isn't quite up to the task. The minimum requirements for Transport Fever 2 are pretty much the same, just a little bit higher than they were for Transport Fever. And as you can see, I can certainly play the game on lower quality graphic modes. I can even run larger maps, in the early game at least. But I have actually now just ordered a brand new PC with a much better processor, a much beefier graphics card. Hopefully, I think it actually comes with 6 gig rather than 2 gig of graphics memory. So that should allow me to show off Transport Fever 2 in all its glory. So that's coming. Whether we'll start that within December or not, I'm not sure, because we do, of course, have the festive season, Christmas, the holidays, whatever you want to call it. That's coming up, and I will be taking a short break for that period. I'll be away from the computer for a few days, and I'll also be away from the computer for a few days this coming weekend, which means I've got quite a lot to do in December that I want to do in terms of the content for the channel, but I'm not going to be here to do it, which is why this particular update video is going to be that little bit shorter, he said, hopefully. So that's what we're doing. There will be a kind of hiatus. The frequency of videos will drop off slightly for the next week, and again over the Christmas period it will do the same as well. I'll try and put a few out scheduled to upload during those short breaks, but I'm not terribly good at doing that. I did ask myself the question, just in fact before I started recording this, is whether I could actually do a slightly different type of schedule, rather than having sort of uploading the videos in rotation. So like I have Computer Tycoon, Academia, Another Brick in the Mall, Transport Fever Tycoon, and I sort of alternate, I run through in that sequence on a week by week basis. I'm wondering what you would think if I mixed it up a little bit and actually focused on one game in particular for a few days and did 2 or 3, 4 episodes of that game in strict sequence, upload all those together, and then follow with another 3 or 4 episodes of the next game in sequence and get through them that way. That does mean, of course, that there will be those periods from the end of one block of, say, Academia. It will be 2 or 3 weeks before the next episode came out, and then there will be another 3 or 4 of those. Does that sound like a good idea? I'm not sure, but it would allow me to give some more structure, and it would allow me to get some sort of continuity, I think, in the gameplay over those periods on the videos, because at the moment it can be a week kind of between each episode of each series, which leaves me sometimes at a disadvantage because I can't remember what I did last time. But give me your thoughts. If you can think of a good schedule that I can adopt, that'd be great. Be good to hear from you anyway. And I'm concerned about the schedule because I really do want to get back to Sim Airport. We finished the last series last month, and the game is getting really, really close to a full-blown public release of the game, coming out of early access. The latest update had a lot of really good stuff in it. They're sort of nailing down all the things they really want in the game before release. So they think they've now got a product that fits what they wanted it to be when they thought of the game design to begin with. So I really want to get back into that, which means I could have 5 games in the schedule. That could be a little bit of a test for me to actually achieve, to keep on going through with. Let me know what you think. If you think I can adjust my schedule to fit all that in, and what would work for you as viewers, as regular viewers. So that's it. Yes, thank you very much for joining me today. The schedule will continue more or less as it is. The content will continue more or less as it is now, but obviously Transport Fever 2 will start being more of a highlight. I just love that game. It's such fun, and actually quite a challenge in the early game to actually get things off the ground properly without resorting to a little bit of sort of cheats, sandboxy mode, no costs. Did I say that? Yes, I did, I'm afraid. Right, so that's it. Let me know what you think. If you've got any thoughts on the schedule, or even what other games I could consider putting into the schedule at some point in the future. There are one or two which I'm not going to give away, which I'm looking at to bring on board at some point, but at the moment the list of games is looking a little bit too hectic for the moment. I don't want to cut anything short unnecessarily. So that's it. As I said at the very beginning, it's been a very successful November for me, despite that weird problem at the beginning of the month. Are we a family now? Can I call you a family, a community of people? I'd love to. But there are now over 400 of you, and that is just so amazing. But even more ridiculous and incredible is that by the end of November, largely I think thanks to being able to showcase the Transport Fever 2 ahead of its general release, I've now achieved not only 80,000 views plus, but also 8,000 watched hours, which is quite ridiculous, to be honest. This is the sort of thing I would never have dreamed of when I first started this channel, and that is all thanks to you. So thank you very much, each and every one of you, for joining me, liking, commenting, and just being there to watch the videos. Thank you very much indeed. So that's it from me. Enjoy what I'm putting out for the rest of December. If I don't speak to you again, in person that is, have a great time over the festive holidays, whatever you want to call them. Christmas, that's what we call it here in England, generally speaking. And I will see you again for another update in January. So that's it from me for now. Until the next time. Bye bye.